Hi, it's James Kaiko here in the Century 21 studio. We have a very, very special guest today, Mike Brekovich from Bear Clooney Watches. Mike, now before we get into, I got some questions about watches. We're going to talk about how watches, and maybe you could give us some advice as realtors, what we should be doing, and a little bit of tips and advice on that. I certainly need it.
Well, you definitely do. You don't even have a watch,
Nothing.
and we're doing a watch
Nothing.
video. I mean,
So,
so how can we even do the wristwatch check if you don't have a watch?
well, you got to start, right? We got to start somewhere.
Okay, we gotta
Okay.
start somewhere.
We'll have that'll be episode 2.
Agreed. There is always a start point.
Now, before we get into it, tell me about Bear Clooney Watches. This is taken off, right?
Yeah.
Tell me where you are on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tell me the followers.
Yeah. Well, okay. So basically, about a year and a half ago, I started the YouTube channel, which is called Bear Clooney Watches. Bear Clooney is actually the name given to me by my son, who thinks that I am kind of like a bear, but also very charming and charismatic as George Clooney. So you combine those two and you get the Bear Clooney. And the other reason was Bear Clooney promotes Omega watches.
Okay.
And he was kind of like, well, if he can promote Omega watches, you can promote all other watches. So there we go. That's the way it started. I have a passion for watches. I love their aesthetics. I love their history, story behind. I like certain brands. I like the micromechanics of it. And it's certainly not about the time. You don't wear a watch today to see the time.
Right, because you have cell phones, you have everything.
Time is all around
Right.
you. But it is a personal time. There's a personal connection you establish with your watch, especially if it's a mechanical piece.
And it's a matter of style. It complements your look.
Well,
and-
for hipster wannabes like you, obviously style will
I am
come
a
as a
hipster.
priority.
Not a wannabe.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. However, it is a personal connection, and especially if it's a mechanical piece. What I mean by that, it is a piece that has a time ahead of it. It's not something that you basically dispose, like your cell phone eventually.
It's a keepsake, right?
It's a keepsake, exactly. It's with you forever, and who knows, maybe with your son, with your daughter, with their son, with their daughter, and so on. It carries on. It's a part of you. And that's what I like about watches.
So that was your passion. Now, where can people find you? If they find this interesting, they want to get into this, where are you located?
Well, just go to YouTube and...
How many followers on YouTube?
Right now it's 7,000, which
That is incredible.
yeah, that's not really much, but it is good for a niche subject, niche topic that I deal with.
I got to ask you one more thing. Then
Yeah.
we're going to get into some questions for you.
Yeah.
This is something I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. I heard you were in Belgrade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm born. That's where
So
I'm
you're,
from.
but you're in Belgrade. You go into a Rolex store.
Yes.
And you're shopping around, not saying anything to anybody.
Yes.
And someone from Rolex comes up to you and says, "Are you Bear Clooney watches?"
That's right. That's actually they didn't say Bear Clooney watches. They said, "Are you Bear Clooney?" And they said it in
Is that
Serbian.
crazy?
They actually said it in Serbian. Jesi li ti Bear Clooney? Are you Bear Clooney? Yeah, it's crazy.
That is
But
nuts.
it is, and it's not. It's not like, to begin, I am probably the only Serbian YouTuber that talks about watches. I don't know any
So
other
there's
ones.
it's unique, but
So-
you're still famous. That story makes you famous.
Okay,
right?
relatively famous. Relatively famous.
So people can find you on YouTube. That's the best spot. Now,
Yeah.
let's get into a little bit of why I asked you here. I want to relate watches to realtors because
Okay.
I don't do watches, right?
Right.
So
But you are obviously interested in it. You're starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't be here if we did not have that conversation prior to it.
no, and I think you could give sound advice to me and other realtors.
Right.
Okay. So now, first question is, a realtor needs to. I want you to pick a watch for me, or pick a watch for a typical realtor. And what a realtor needs is, a realtor needs to show success.
Mhm.
So it's got to be a prestigious watch, but what they say in our business is, you can't go too overboard, then people might resent it a little bit. So
Certainly.
tell me a watch, or a couple watches I could start with, that would show that success without maybe turning off clients or people.
Absolutely, but I'm going to start this differently. I'm going to tell you what not to get.
That's fine. That's fine.
So this is advice for anyone that wants to put a watch on their wrist. I would say never put a fashion watch on your wrist. And what I mean by that, Michael Kors, Daniel Wellington, and stuff like that.
My father bought me a Michael Kors for Christmas. Throw it out.
That's okay. That's okay. Keep it because it has emotional connection. Please
He
don't
probably
get me in
bought it
trouble
on
with your
sale.
dad.
Okay.
Probably. But the thing is, most of these fashion watches are nothing more or less than Alibaba specials. They are really Chinese products, which are purchased by the brand, such as Michael Kors. They stamp their name on it, and they charge about 50 times more
But a cheap
what
watch.
they paid. It's a quartz piece. It's a watch that eventually will die, and it will be disposable just as your phone. So stay away from that.
Okay.
If you're going to have a watch, you have to have a watch that's going to have a future, that's going to have a history. It has to be mechanical watch, it has to be automatic watch, preferably, or winding watch, something that you will develop relationship with. And that's advice
Develop a
for relationship. Don't get don't get funny. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Something that will connect with you.
Okay.
Because you're talking one watch. You're not talking being a watch collector. You're talking having a decent, good watch on your wrist. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a start. Now, being a professional who deals with clients, you obviously do not want to be show offish. You don't want to be tacky. You don't want to
Exactly.
showcase diamonds. You don't want to showcase precious metals. You don't want to. But there is a ways that you can have a really high-end luxury watch that's not screaming, "I am wealthier than you."
Okay.
Okay.
That's perfect, and I
So-
think that's where we want to go. So
Correct. So the other thing that I think it's really important for professional is someone who is, let's say, in real estate. You love when your property increases in value, right?
Yeah, that's what we strive
Or
for.
at least
Yeah.
maintains the
that's,
value.
That's a great parallel. Absolutely.
Well, same for me when I look at the watches. I love when what I'm wearing on a wrist, it's actually increasing in the value.
So watches, I would think watches would be like vehicles or anything else that they decrease in value. So you could actually buy watches that increase in value.
Yes, you can actually get a watch. You can get a watch that when you purchase it and you wear it 1, 2, 3 years, they actually increase in the value while you're wearing them and having them on your wrist.
Realtors would be totally into that.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Not just realtors, everyone is pretty much into that.
Sure.
But that's also now important at what price point you're buying it and what brand you're buying.
Okay.
I tend to recommend 2 brands for value retention.
2 brands.
Rolex and Patek Philippe. Those are 2 brands that hold the value.
Okay.
There's no question about it. Now, there's other good brands that I recommend buying used.
Okay.
Because
maybe
if you-
and that's where someone wants to start out, right?
Right.
Before they make that
So
commitment.
like Omega, for example, is a great brand that you can buy at 40-50% off used, and that's a good price point. You can buy maybe Tag Heuer at about 50-60% off used, and so on and so on. So we need to buy. So my first advice: buy at the right price point.
Sure. Now, do you counsel people on your site if someone says, "Is this a good deal?" You don't get into that, do you?
Yeah, I sometimes do that. I mean, people will
You'll give
ask me.
advice.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't get into this is the watch you need to get because I
Because
need
you don't
to
know
know
that
you.
person.
See,
Yeah.
I know you well,
Yeah,
and
you
I
do.
can make
You do.
recommendation for you.
Yeah.
Because I know your style, I know your how you dress, I know what your work style
So
is.
you don't want to get into that, but you just on the basic value, you could counsel.
Correct.
Okay.
And I can recommend certain brands.
Right.
Like generally speaking.
Like we just did. Right.
Right.
So
So now if we are going further, now we're going into personal taste. We establish the brands, we establish the price point, we establish that it should not be fashion watch, it should be watch that has a future another important thing. You buying a watch from the company that provides adequate service.
and
Because
those
these
are
watch-
the ones you named.
Correct.
Yeah.
And from there, it's important that you actually have a company that has a future. You buy a watch and company disappears in 2 years, like
Yeah.
Squale. It's Italian shitter brand. You buy the watch, they eventually don't exist. What are you doing?
Yeah, and that probably decreases the value of that
And
watch.
decreases the value, of course. There's no brand strength behind it.
So for
You
me,
know everything about branding. Branding is not just words and a nice logo. It is the service that stands behind it.
yeah, that's the strength of the brand. Absolutely.
Correct. And obviously marketing. But they say, hey, marketing is most important. No. Marketing that presents quality of the service behind is most important.
Because you can have 100 people through your doors through marketing, but if they all have bad experience, what
Boom,
good was the
it's
marketing?
gone. It's gone. It's gone.
So, what is that watch?
Well,
okay, you went over the general. Okay?
Yeah, and now as a realtor, you're meeting people, you don't want to show your wealth, you want to have a quality, but in the same time, you want to have a watch that you know that you have a personal connection with, and you know that it's a good quality and it's going to retain the value and so on. For you,
This is it. This is for me.
you see, you're a bit of a hipster. I tell you that. You have these tendencies to look cool or something, I don't know. This need to be Torontonian in Northern Ontario.
It just happens. I'm cool. It's.
It happens, but you certainly work hard on it. I mean, your beard, oh, I did wear colorful socks today just to.
The socks are nice. We're not going to go down there, but the socks are
Yeah,
nice.
hipster socks, just as a tribute to
So
you.
so knowing what I do, what is that watch for me?
You see, for you, I would recommend Rolex Datejust on a nice leather strap. It's the ultimate
Okay,
hipster
say that one
watch.
more time.
Rolex
Yes.
Datejust, which is one of the most iconic lines from Rolex,
Just.
right? On the leather strap, so
On the
it's
leather
not
strap.
really showing off shiny, glitzy, and all that. It has this very like a distressed leather look on the strap and a high quality watch.
Now, what would something
On
like
the
that range, price range? I
Well,
got a budget for these.
Yeah,
things.
and this I would actually recommend to be purchased used.
Okay.
Because they just is one of those Rolex pieces that is not really increasing in the value, but if you're buying it used and you're buying it from dependable sales source,
Be good value.
would be a good value. And you're looking probably, your wrist is smaller than mine, you could pull 36 millimeter Datejust, which also helps the value of it, because the smaller they are, the value, the price goes down a little bit. You're probably looking at about $3,000 to $5,000, depending and the most important thing, condition. Condition in this
Most
case.
important thing, condition.
Condition in this case. You're buying a used Rolex Datejust, pay a little extra for a really nice sample.
Okay. Now,
That's watch for you.
last question.
Yeah.
This is a small question. It's kind of silly question, but
I love silly questions. They're my favorite.
no, but you're an expert. So, I'm a left-handed guy.
Mhm.
Okay. So watches are supposed to be worn on the left hand.
No, that's actually a misconception.
But you hear it all the time. And I write with my left. I eat with my left. So 10 times a day, when the rare time I'd wear a watch, I take it off. I keep taking my watch off because I do too
Just
much.
wear it on the right hand.
Then people ask me, well, why,
No,
is it like it used to be, or is it?
No,
is it
that
different?
has changed.
That has changed.
As a matter of fact, if you see the crown on the watch,
Yeah.
it is right that it's meant to be on the left. It's most of the people wear on the left hand. And it's built to be standing like going toward your fingers. There are some companies today producing watches with the crown on the opposite side, exactly for the left-handed
For the
people.
southpaws.
Right. So, for example, Tudor, which is a Rolex sub brand, they have watches with a crown on the opposite side.
That's good news for lefties.
Oh yeah.
So-
Lefties are not to be left out in the watch world. They are equal part of it.
Okay, so that's
As a
good
matter of
news
fact,
for
I
me.
find it more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it will get attention to your watch, not for the wrong reasons, not for being show-offish, but they'll notice your watch, and it will be cool to
So-
be noticed.
I know the watch I'm going to get. I know
Yes.
the budget,
Yeah.
and I know the etiquette now.
Right.
And if anybody wants to find out more information about watches, where do they go?
Well, they go to Bear Clooney Watches on YouTube, and there are my contact information, or to my Facebook group, Horology Talk, which has now almost 30,000 members.
That
So-
is crazy.
Yeah. But that's not only because of me. It's just because it's so many great people.
But the
there who are-
YouTube is you could be one of the 7,000 followers. Bear Clooney watches.
Yeah.
Watch
Are you
for-
following me?
Yes. Well, I don't do a lot of YouTube.
You
I'm
go
on Instagram
You're on
and
Instagram.
Facebook.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as well, and it's the same thing back
Okay.
when he watches.
Okay. So thank you, Mike, for
My
coming
pleasure.
in, and look for him. Bear Clooney watches.
Thank you.